came over as a grad transfer, as they used to call it, and I think they still do. And I would argue that he made an insane impact on this program in 1 year. I thought there was leadership, maturity, and then obviously what they needed on the floor, physicality, a presence in the post, a rebounder, a scorer, a stud, a man, a dude down low. I thought in one season, that young man will be remembered more than some dude who played here for four.
Morris Udeze has been fantastic this season. He's brought the presence they needed inside. You look at his attitude game in game out. He's been there. And of a fifth year player like you just laid out, it's everything that you want. It's a guy that can come in and contribute right away, fit in seamlessly in the locker room, be a character guy, be a leader, and Udeze's done just that.
He was, and we'll hear from Morris a little bit later in the show, and in what New Mexico meant to him. It was really interesting listening to him yesterday, and he was asked probably three different ways about his time and what it means, and the fact that it was the end, and it was glowing. And I don't know how much of a recruiter he'll be for New Mexico. I mean, he was asked at one point, do you wish you had more years here? And he wasn't going to say anything bad about his former stop, and nor should he. I'm sure he had a wonderful time there. But there was, you could say, you could see, I wish I would have been here more than 1 year, right? And I think he said it at one point. Richard Pitino said something after the game on Saturday about the atmosphere, JJ. And I asked him about it again yesterday about, people are going to want to be a part of this. And it resonated with me because we had that email yesterday. He said, this is why people aren't going to come here, because you guys are all critical and the fans are critical and you're chasing them off. And I'm thinking, probably not. I think guys want to go play somewhere where people give a damn. And when people give a damn, and I've said this forever, passion doesn't only run and show itself and demonstrate itself in the good times. Passion shows itself in the rough times as well. And so when you're losing passionate fans, well, not always the most rational, although you can't tell them that in the moment, right? I think people want to be where there's passionate fans, and Morris talked about that, and Richard talked about it. And JJ, if nothing else, and time will tell, okay? And wherever this season ends, whether it ends in the NIT, the NCAA tournament, wherever it ends, this season to me undoubtedly has brought the program back to national prominence because they were ranked. Every game was on national television. That it's brought the program back to a point where the community cares. And we spent how many years talking about, well, maybe the fan base is just aged out. Maybe they just don't care anymore. Maybe people aren't. No. They're here if you give them something to come to. And see a destination potentially, and this is the one that I want to see, for players to want to go to and play in an atmosphere and in a community that loves this team, that is centered around this team. And we could talk all the different things we want, whether it's a soccer team, a baseball team, a bowl game, a whatever game. But Lobo basketball still, when it comes to, I firmly believe, and I think it's been proven, sports in this community is kind of the center.
It is. And everything that you just laid out is what you want. And you talk to coaches, and they don't want the apathy. If they want people upset when they're not playing, because it means that they do care and that they're invested in the product. And for Lobo basketball, what you've seen this season at the Pit, even the San Diego State game, coming off a rough stretch. They're lost the game at Boise State. They lost some games in conference, and that game was still sold out for like over a month. Mm-hmm. And people showed up and showed out on Saturday night, and it just kind of re-emphasized everything that can be really good about Lobo basketball in this community. And yeah, this season it's had some incredible highs and some ridiculous lows. With all that, it's still out there. This team can still go do something in Vegas to get themselves in position to get to the NCAA tournament. And I do think that there's a couple ways to talk about this season. What you just said is correct. Like, it brought the fans back. It showed what this team can do. It showed on a national stage once again that Lobo basketball can be relevant. And at the same time, you can be disappointed because of all those steps that you took, and knowing that how hard it is to get to the NCAA tournament, and knowing that when you were in that stretch with Steve Alford, people started to take it for granted.
Yeah.
and it's been a long time since you've been anywhere near the conversations that we've had about this team legitimately getting into the NCAA tournament, missing their opportunities, it looks like, as an at-large, but still feeling like, hey, they could go win some games in Las Vegas and finish this on a high note.
John Rothstein on CBS yesterday was saying New Mexico's a team that could win the tournament, that they can go out and win the Mountain West tournament. They're that talented. They're that good. He still is in love with this team. Richard Pitino yesterday used a term, and I think it's right. He talked about the brand being down, right? And as he was trying to recruit and what they came into, look, this was down for 7-8 years. It was down. Like, not that good, but the program was, I'm sorry, irrelevant on a national scale. And I'm not looking to offend you. I think you all realize that, right? And while I don't know that I'm going to sit here and I'm ready to call New Mexico a power after what happened this year, certainly the brand has become relevant. It's been on the lips of every national expert talking head, and that matters. It does. It does. They've been ranked. They've been good. The program's good. And Richard said, the brand was down, and that was a big part of the recruiting issue, right? It was a pandemic, and they were all recruiting on Zoom. It wasn't just him. Some teams won, some teams didn't. But he was recruiting to rebuild from a program that was brought to the studs in some respects. I mean, they were really, really, really bad. Shut down, missed games, couldn't play in their state, didn't have dudes. Like, there was nothing here. And so to be here in 2 years, and I know perspective is hard, and it's not what you're looking for. But so my whole point on this was senior night is here. And Richard talked a lot about it yesterday. And you got 5 guys. JJ, I don't know if we'll ever see Jamal Mashburn in the pit again. He may go. I hope you do. Jalen House, Josiah Alec, KJ Jenkins have the option, right, to utilize a COVID year, right? I guess so. Emmanuel Quach as well. I will tell you, man, those 2 bigs have made an insane impact. I mean, Alec as well, right? Alec in JJ in 1 year, the impact personality-wise, willingness-wise, watching him interact with the fans. We'll go through what these seniors meant. But this is a hell of a senior class. We don't really have a regular senior day anymore. Where senior days, you don't know, and for instance, like you had with the women the other day, you had a number of seniors who were on our last senior day as well, right? They got flowers, and their parents were here last year. In this world, you just don't know. I look at senior day and what it used to be and what it is now, and the impact that this group had, and it's just insane. The guys who are here for a short time. I mean, House was here for 2 years, Jenkins was here for 2 years, Udeze and Alec for 1 year, and turned this program completely around and headed in the right direction.
They've given the program life. They've given the basketball community life again on the men's side, and showing how awesome that venue can be, showing how electric level basketball can be. And they're in a position as a program in the conference they play in that this could be a rhythm you get into for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
For Pitino and company just can continue to add pieces to that puzzle. This shouldn't be a flash in the pan.
All right, we're going to talk about these seniors. We're going to go through it. I want your thoughts on senior night as you look back. And I mean, do you have a favorite? Who's your favorite? Is it Alec? Is it House? Who is it? As the Lobos play their final regular season home game in the pit tonight, they'll play up in Fort Collins on Friday and then go to Vegas for the conference tournament. So who is it? The number to get in is 505-246-0610. Do you have a favorite memory of one of them? Maybe you met them or whatever it is. 505-246-0610. Emails Jeff or JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. We'll talk a little more hoops when we get back. I woke up to a voicemail this morning. My phone rang after I went to bed, and it was my buddy in Reno, and I almost should play it for you. Maybe I will. Looking for a scientific reason how Wyoming was able to beat Nevada last night. A tough look. It happens, man. It's not just you. It happens. So we're gonna get into that a little bit, and then coming up at 8:30, there's a lot going on with UNM athletics. So we're gonna go to the very top of it. Athletic Director Eddie Nunez will be in studio at 8:30 on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Mix a little sports analysis, pop culture, and great interviews, and you've got
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Sometimes it's the small things that make life easier, like never worrying about being declined at an ATM when only cash will do. With You're Covered from US Eagle, we'll cover you, even if the money's not there. That's a good feeling. And we do it with no extra fees or penalties. It's called trust, and we think that's important, especially if we're asking you to trust us. At US Eagle, that's just part of what it means when we say people mean more.
Check it out.
What is it?
It's a time machine, bro. I could jump into the future and get my paycheck early.
I already get my paycheck early at US Eagle.
Get your paycheck up to 2 days early with US Eagle Early Payday. Now's a great time to have your checking with US Eagle.
Time machine.
Your girlfriend breaks up with you in 22 hours, 53 minutes.
Wait, what? Seth?
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Hi everyone, my name is Master Sergeant Jacob Groves. I am an Air Force Special Warfare pararescueman. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Network and New Mexico Youth Sports. Air Force Special Warfare operators are critical thinkers. They maintain a high level of fitness, they take initiative, and they don't quit. For more information on Air Force Special Warfare, contact me at the number listed below.
U.S. Air Force Special Warfare are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
As a mom, I try to make the best choices for my family and our health. That's why I choose Western Sky Community Care. It's a Medicaid plan with quality health coverage and special benefits like Boys and Girls Club membership credit, additional dental benefits, and wellness and support programs. I decide which Medicaid plan is right for us. I choose Western Sky Community Care.
Learn more about Western Sky Community Care by visiting discoverwesternsky.com today.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
We fight the battles no one hears about.
We drop into the middle of firefights to rescue others.
And act as one-man air traffic control towers.
We're the ones who go before all others.
I do believe the Mountain West Conference tournament has the potential to be as exciting, as good of a conference tournament as any in America. It will start next week. Good morning to you. Opening drive on 95.9 FM at AM 610 Sports Animal. JJ will be there. Well, you don't know exactly when, but I know you'll be there Monday for the conference tournament. I get in middle of the week, and we'll be there for you to cover the Lobos and everything that's going on at the conference tournaments in Las Vegas. Thank you to Coleman Vision, perfect game. New Mexico looked the best in New Mexico souvenirs and team apparel. Rich Ford celebrating 62 years at the corner of Lomas and Wyoming Northeast. And California Closets, custom closet systems and solutions for the whole home. Those are the people who are making sure that we are there to bring you that coverage. So I'm going to ask you a question, and it didn't hit me until last night. We're sitting here yelling, 5 teams, 4 teams, at least 3. Is there a chance only 2 Mountain West teams get in?
Yes.
NCAA, there is, right?
Yes.
After what happened last night, Wyoming beat Nevada last night, senior night up in Laradice, 80-71. So Nevada takes a quad 3 loss to the last place team in the league. Hunter Maldonado went for 25 points, 9 rebounds, and 11 assists in his final game in Laramie. And
I did not know as well that he was about ready to and did become the Mountain West all-time assist leader.
Yeah, I passed Kendall Williams
Good on
last
him.
night. Yeah, now 6 years. He did get the extra year, right? But yeah, no, he became the all-time assist leader in the Mountain West. I want you to understand that you're not alone, okay? And I don't know if that helps you at all. You lost to Wyoming at home, and you were in shock. I got a good buddy way back in junior high days, and he's a ophthalmologist in Reno, a big Reno supporter. So the game ended right about 9:05. JJ, the Nevada game, between 9:05, 9:10, whatever. And I shut her down about, I don't know, quarter to 10. I was tired last night. I went to bed early. And so this came in right before 10 o'clock, and I got a voicemail this morning, and it sounded like this from my buddy who's a big Reno supporter. And it sounds like a lot of you.
It took me this long to get out of the shock. But can you explain to me what just happened using science or something?
No. Were you able to hear that?
Yeah, the explanation is there's a couple places in this league that stuff just happens. Whether you get caught in an off night at Clune Arena and getting the Clune Gloom,
Yeah.
or you're in the AA, man, in Laramie, Wyoming.
And, when the Lobos lost, they were without House. And, like, all right, but you still, you shouldn't lose the last place team. And that, Steve Alford, when he was on our show, 3 weeks ago, before the game, Nevada, New Mexico game here, he mentioned that, look, there's no easy night in this league. You're going up there, you're going to Colorado State on Friday, and they got a guy who is a first-team player of the year caliber player in Isaiah Stevens. Wyoming's got the same caliber dude in Hunter Maldonado, right? I mean, you look down the list, and everywhere in this league, I mean, Air Force probably doesn't have that guy. But Fresno's got athletes, right? Wyoming was picked second in this league, and then Graham Ike went down. But Jeremiah Oden scored 28 points for them last night. Like when you talk about Nevada, you're not saying I got to shut down Jeremiah Oden. He had 28, Maldonado had 25. What is that, 53 of their 80? Oden was 9 of 13. They went nuts. Like, if you're Nevada, you're sick right now. You went from solidly in, and you were just going to cruise through the end of the regular season. So now you're out of mulligans. I don't know that knocked them out of the tournament, but it's probably going to put them in the 3 seed. They're going to get a 3-6 game, right? That may be New Mexico, and New Mexico can beat them. And so if they, I mean, I don't know, are they in solidly anymore?
No, the only team that's in solidly is San Diego State. And there are question marks for Boise State, Nevada. We haven't even talked about Utah State, and it feels like weeks in this conversation. So this could go from, man, could they get 4 or 5 teams in, best case scenario, to one of these teams loses early. This is a one-bid league.
I was just going to say, can it go down to a one-bid league?
Yes.
I don't see one. I think I see at least 2, right? Because...
And it feels like Boise State is the team that's closest to San Diego State
but
right
they
now.
They just lost, and they're going to get the Aztecs tonight.
But they got that quad 4 loss everyone keeps staring at.
The South Dakota State lost the very first game of the year at home. Yeah, and they just lost in San Jose. They get the Aztecs tonight. If they get beat tonight, look, and to your point, how does it get down to 1? Well, somebody's going to win the league. So if it's San Diego State who wins the league, the conference tournament, and if Boise State if they all lose in the first round, and I don't see it happening, right, in the quarterfinals, right? If they all lose on Friday night, so you get into Friday night, the semis, and you got San Diego State and UNLV, which is possible, I imagine, right? UNLV coming out of the 7 holes, probably going to get Boise State if they win the first game. I'm telling you what, we went from this league is and it is really good, and this is what the Pac-12 does to itself every year. It's really competitive. And how many years did I ask Craig Thompson this when the former commissioner of the Mountain West Conference was on our show? Would you rather have a league where anybody can beat anybody on any night, where you're really good top to bottom, or you have a dominant team in football or 2 dominant teams in basketball, right? Because in football, you need that dominant team, especially at the group of 5 level, to get yourself to the New Year's Six Bowls. And in basketball, it feels like you need it because they're beating the hell out of each other, and here we go.
It is frustrating because I think with the wins that this league does have, the metrics, both net ranking, KenPom, the ones that stand out, I don't think they deserve to be penalized as harshly for beating each other up. But it's when you lose to the Wyomings of the world. Those are the hard ones to overcome. If you lose to the top teams in the conference, so be it. That happens.
Mm-hmm.
But when you got that Wyoming loss on your resume now, if you're Nevada, and of course what the Lobos have had, those are the things that it's harder to overcome for the Mountain West.
Now, it's a tough one last night, and I don't know how you all feel and what you're rooting for. Do you root for the league? Do you root for Steve Alford and Craig Neal, or do you root against Steve Alford and Craig Neal? However it is you feel. But there was one game last night in this league, and I'm not going to say stunned. I'm really not, because I don't think anything stuns me in this league, and we watched them do it here.
Oh.
But I was surprised, man. I thought Nevada was playing well down the stretch, and just listen to that voicemail this morning. He's like, just my buddy in shock. Can you explain to me, using some science, what just happened? It took me an hour to get out of the shock. Yeah, no, I get it, man.